December's dismal jobs report not doing anything to enhance the Biden administration's equity-based employment plan. Our national correspondent Mike Carter has more on this story.
The December jobs report showing an economy continuing to struggle in its comeback from COVID, with numbers that don't bode well for President Biden's equity-based administration. The Labor Department reporting late last week the country added just under 200,000 jobs in December, less than half of the more than 400,000 jobs the Biden administration had projected.
Today, America is the only leading economy in the world where the economy as a whole is stronger than before the pandemic.
The overall unemployment rate did drop from 4.2 to 3.9% in the final month of the year, the lowest level since the start of the pandemic.
I believe that that's a lagging indicator of the jobs report, and one of the other indicators is that unemployment is about as low as it's ever been.
But it's a number that doesn't reflect those who have given up looking for work, with 3.6 million Americans who lost their jobs due to the pandemic having yet to return to work.
A lot of the things that we thought were foundations have been shaken at this point, and that makes it difficult to do any planning.
I feel as though it's the fear of going back into work and possibly getting COVID, especially with all these new variants. I also feel as though people who aren't working, they were getting money for not working. So I feel as though that is another big impact. They just don't want to go to work.
Asian, Hispanic, and white workers all saw a drop in unemployment in December, but black unemployment actually rose in December, jumping by more than 0.5% from 6.5 to 7.1%. Average hourly earnings rose more than expected in December, with wages up 4.7% for the year. But inflation reached a 40-year high in November, up 6.8% year over year, with economists expecting a figure north of 7% when the latest consumer price index numbers are announced on Wednesday. In New York, for Newsmax, I'm Mike Carter.
Mike Carter, thanks for that report.
In reaction to this story, our panelists come back here. I believe we left off. I'll go to Rebecca on this one. You see these unemployment numbers, and you've seen what we did. We interviewed folks on the street and just what they think about it, people not going back to work, the effect it does have on black unemployment. Your thoughts on this and how this plays into the midterms?
It's total delusion on this president's part to say that the economy is stronger than it was before Corona. I know you can look at an employment figure, an unemployment figure, and say that. But let's be clear. We have 12 million job openings. We have empty shelves. We have major supply chain problems. And we have inflation of north of 7% year over year. Nobody is buying that this economy is better than before Corona. And for the president to say that, he just further decimates his own credibility. The economy, and especially when we're about to taper and raise interest rates, the market's going to have major problems this year because of those things. And this president is trying to do the best he can to, sing a song and dance and fool people. And no one's being fooled. We're shopping at these stores with the empty shelves.
Yeah. And that Twitter hashtag was trending as well, Bare Shelves Biden. Some of this has to do with the bad winter weather in the Northeast, Rogan, that impacted the supply chains and shipments, but not necessarily for every case as well. And you see a lot of people taking to Twitter to share and express their frustrations when they go to the grocery store and they can't get everything on their list.
Yeah, and that's why the recent polls show that, over 68% of Americans are prioritizing economic problems over the 33 or 34% that see COVID as the top issue. They say in capitalism, food waits for you. In socialism, you wait for food. And, socialism doesn't happen overnight, but we are certainly seeing the early indicators here with a man who's never run a business in his life, who's been in Congress for 40-something years, and we suddenly expect him to actually fix our nation's problems. I mean, it's just not going to happen.
30 seconds left. Paul Chabot, close us out.
This president and his administration portray a negativity across this country, and that is un-American. We need a president in there who is uplifting, that America can get through this, that we're resilient. But every single press conference, first off, this president doesn't take questions. And it's always in the doldrums about this economy with COVID over and over and over again. And people are feeling it in their pocketbooks at home. Families are feeling it. Kids, mental illness, being out of school. We have a nation now in trouble because of this administration's policies and lack of leadership.
Yeah, you've got bad winter weather, supply chain issues, and then people just calling out of work because they caught COVID. That all plays into it as well. Rebecca Walser, Rogan O'Hanley, and Paul Chabot, thank you, panelists. We'll be right back with more National Report after this.